Hey everybody, and welcome back to Lindsey's Little Library. So today we are on Booklist Thursday again. Somehow another week has gone by and here we are. So Booklist Thursday is something I do with my friend Sarah over at Sarah's Nightstand. We come to you every Thursday with some sort of book thoughts, ideas, recommendations, something bookish related. Today's topic, we're going to talk about comfort books or comfort authors that we have. And some suggestions that we might have. And so I went and pulled 5 books, 5 different authors off of my shelf. And these are what I think of as comfort books. These are ones where it's just, you don't have to think too hard. It's not going to like agitate me. It's just going to be ones that I'm just going to sit and enjoy. They may not go super fast, but they're ones that they just allow me to breathe a little bit. So those are more of my comfort books. So some of these I've read, some of them I've just read authors. So we'll kind of get started with my list. So the first one, and this is somewhat newer to me, actually a couple of them are newer to me, is Carly Fortune. So I have read Meet Me at the Lake, and then the first one, The Summer, what was her other? This is gonna bother me now. Every Summer After. So they tend to be set in the summer. They tend to be set on a lake. There tends to be some sort of romance involved, some little bit of angst, but nothing too crazy. These are ones that I can easily find myself getting lost in. These remind me of going to the lake because I tend to read her books when I go to the lake, which is definitely a comfort for me. This one specifically follows Fern. She has wasted a lot of her life thinking about Will Baxter. Was someone she only spent one day with back in her 20s. They had this agreement that they would meet again the following year, and it ended up being the timing was wrong, but this connection has survived since then. Fern, her current life isn't quite what she imagined. She ends up going back home to her mother's lakeside resort where she met Will, and helping her kind of clean it up. Place is kind of falling apart a little bit, and runs into her ex-boyfriend, who's also the manager at the resort, and kind of has to face a whole lot of things. So again, sweet story. Carly Fortune gives me definitely a comforting feel, and I enjoy her books, and I feel like I'm a little like a year behind with hers, so which is okay. So this next summer we'll read her newest one, but definitely suggest that one. Another author that's newer to me is Ellen Hilderbrand. This one, I've read a few of her books. I read her Winter Street series. This last summer, I read The 5-Star Weekend. And again, hers tends to take place in the summer, except for Winter Street. They tend to be somewhere along the East Coast, Nantucket area, and tend to have, I guess, characters that I can really relate with, and tends to have some bit of a story. The 5-Star Weekend was great. It was a woman with kind of the 4 people from each kind of decade of her life that were super influential, and she brings them all together. And there's a little bit of drama, a little bit of fun, all kinds of fun stuff. 28 Summers, I have heard really good things about as well. This one follows, who picked white on orange? Maybe I'm just old. I don't know. Could be. Mallory Blessing's son Link receives her deathbed instructions to call a number on a slip of paper in her desk drawer. He certainly doesn't expect Jake to answer. It's the late spring of 2020. Jake's wife, Ursula, is the front runner in the upcoming presidential election. Link is sure there's been a mistake. How do Mallory and Jake know each other? And then we flash back to the summer of '93. Oh, that's a good year. Mallory's inherited a beachfront cottage on Nantucket from her aunt and agrees to host her brother Cooper's bachelor party. And Cooper brings her his college friend Jake, and I can only imagine what happens from there. So this one, again, comfort read. I think I just can go in and just eat them up, basically. So there's that one. Another comfort read that I'm thinking of is Kevin Kwan, and I need to read more by him. So I read the, oh my goodness, Crazy Rich Asians and thoroughly enjoyed it. And this is a newer one that I want to say just came out. It's not that old. That I've been kind of saving for just that right time. Oh, 2020, I guess. It was a little older. Where have I been? I don't know. But it's Sex and Vanity. So we have Lucy hates George the minute he sets eyes on him at a wedding in Capri. The daughter of an American-born Chinese mother and blue-blooded New York father, Lucy's always she has downplayed her Asian side. And she adamantly denies having feelings for George. But several years later, when George unexpectedly appears in her life, Lucy finds herself drawn to him again. Soon, Lucy's spinning a web of deceit that involves her family, her fiancé, the co-op board of her Fifth Avenue apartment building, and ultimately herself as she tries to deny George entry into her world and her heart. And Kevin Kwan just writes some funny stuff. He puts his characters in some funny places. So love that as well. Another comfort read that I came up with that I will suggest to other people all of the time, which is The Gunkle by Stephen Rowley. This might be on the edge of a comfort read because it definitely has some emotion to it and some sadness with it, but yet it all works out. It all comes together. It's just comfortable. It is. We have Patrick, or gay Uncle Patrick, who is Gup for short. He has a niece and nephew, Maisie and Grant. Loves spending time with them. And it comes to a point where there's a summer where some tragedy strikes. Maisie and Grant lose their mother, and their father basically says, can you please take them for a bit while he sorts out his affairs and such. So he has his niece and nephew who are grieving his mother, grieving her mother, their mother, a mother. So he has his niece and nephew who are grieving their mother, and Patrick also had a very close relationship with their mother as well. So he's also going through some grief at this. And we kind of go from there, and he tries to create a very safe environment for them, and they do some really fun things, and they have some neighbors who are just hilarious. So yes, amongst all of the sadness and the emotion is some really funny moments because Stephen really just can't help himself, and it's hilarious, and I love it so much. And there's a second one out that I need to read sooner rather than later. Then my last comfort read, I'm going to go with Anything by Amy Reichart. This is Love, Luck, and Lemon Pie. Her books tend to take place in Wisconsin, which I absolutely love because, well, she's a local author. This one takes place in the Milwaukee area. We have One Marriage Gone Stale, One Big Bet, One Chance to Fall in Love all over again. And I believe this one centers around food quite a bit, which is really exciting. Amy does tend to add in a food element within her stories as well. I have read, I want to say probably 3 or 4 of them. And again, it's comforting because I can picture the places. I've been to some of the places. I've had some of the food. The Coincidence of Coconut Cake was another one. There's one set in Door County. If anybody knows what that is, it's like the upper northeastern part of Wisconsin. It's like kind of a peninsula into the lake. So it's really pretty. And there's usually a romance with them as well. So I really enjoyed this one. I loved Coincidence of Coconut Cake. And then I can't think, the Door County one was like something with apples. So again, local author, probably not that well known, but definitely comfort reads, definitely sweet stories that I thoroughly enjoy. So those are my 5 comfort authors that I thought of to share with you today. Head over to Sarah's channel and see what she has for us. Otherwise, like, comment, subscribe, and all that fun stuff. And I will see you next time. Bye.